Hello and welcome to the video. This is one of those videos that's been a long time in the making. Why? Well, the camera actually shipped to reviewers back in the end of September, and then we were immediately told, hang on a minute, there's a firmware update coming that will improve the image quality. So most of us hung on. Some people went ahead and made their videos anyway. So if you've seen a video that's about 4 to 6 weeks old, you're looking at old firmware, and I don't think that does anyone a favour, because actually you're not looking at the version of the camera you're going to get if you're going to buy one. Now, my favourite action camera is the Caddx Peanut, so I'm very excited to look at its nutty brother, particularly because in terms of the box camera format, there aren't a lot of options. The GoPro session kind of kicked all this off, and there was a number of models that had recesses and supports for this style of camera. I am worried that the Peanut is no longer available on the Caddx website. Maybe that relationship with Insta360 has changed. I hope it comes back, because many of the pilots that I know that have things like the Peanut really love it. But I like that we're getting choices for action cameras with decent performance, rather than just have to destroy cameras that cost hundreds and hundreds when we inevitably crash, and just keep that GoPro stock price nice and high. Now, this looks like a competitor to the discontinued GoPro Session 5 and things like the RunCam 5, and measures just 38 by 36mm, so it's also a great GoPro 11 Mini alternative, and it weighs about 60 grams with that inbuilt battery. So the headlines for this camera are, surprise surprise, it gives us 4K at 60 frames a second, it weighs about 60 grams, has about 30 minutes running time it claims. However, I found it doesn't quite get to that, particularly at the higher resolutions. It does include gyro flow support, which I think is pretty essential for cameras in the hobby these days. IP64 waterproofing, so if it does get splashed with water, it isn't the end of the world. Does come with clear ND8 and ND16 lenses, which make it much better on bright sunny days, and also has a magnetic charger at the back and an adapter similar to the Peanut. That means that they can keep it at that waterproof level. Image sensor in this is a 1 by 2.3 inch HDR sensor. Main resolutions are 4K 60 frames a second, 4K 30 frames a second in 4:3, 2.7K 60, 2.7K 30, 1440 60, and 1080 at a whopping 120 frames a second. Field of view on this is 150 degrees. Video file format is MP4. Does record audio, and it does have Wi-Fi support too, so you can do everything with the app. Maximum of 100 megabits bitrate. Video encoding is either H.264 or H.265, and it takes a micro SD card, as you'd expect. So in terms of setting it up, it's very similar to lots of other Caddx cameras. You fire up the Caddx stuff, you connect to it via the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi password is 1234567 which is never written clearly enough for me. And then once you're in there, you can set everything up. So what's the image like now we've got this latest firmware? Well, walking around, the colours are nice and natural, and the microphone level is very low by default. But it's when I take it up to the bridge and I take a nice long view down the canal and we zoom in on a couple of places that you can see how well the 4K sensor is working. This isn't unlike a lot of the other cameras we've looked at recently. This appears to be real 4K, doesn't appear to be upscaled, getting a really nice crisp image where the branches are looking great and they're not over sharpened either. However, when you are flying in lots of different conditions, the camera does a really good job too. In bright light performance, actually this was recorded using the old firmware, this is really beautiful image. It looks fantastic. Now this of course was recorded in 4K, it's been downscaled to 1080p for YouTube, but hopefully you get an idea of what the colour, saturation and everything looks like. I was just chasing one of my friends around in one of his planes. But in lower light performance, and this is using the later version, this still looks very good. And comparing it to the image that I was getting in my DJI goggles, it looks absolutely beautiful. Does it work in gyro flow? it works nicely, becoming the standard for modern cameras designed for the hobby, and there's no real drama in here at all. Everything works exactly as you'd expect. So how good is it? Well, image quality is very good, one of the nicest 4K images I've seen on a non-GoPro for a while. Color reproduction is excellent and the image does look very nice. Exposure is good too, with nice handling of lots of conditions. There are lots of things to like here. This is 4K and gyro flow for about £150. Great build quality and that case to keep all the pieces in, which I think is a really nice touch because I tend to lose pieces from other bits when they don't come in a case like this to keep it all together. Do like the removable lens cover, makes replacement of the ND filters really easy, and there are simple controls. Although they weren't super intuitive for me, but after a couple of days I got the hang of it. IP64, so even if it's rainy and wet, then the camera should be okay. And Caddx have obviously put some effort into thinking about how it's going to integrate with the hobby. A couple of things to be aware of. First and foremost is some of the options have been changing in the app. I know lots of people would like a flat color profile. I'm sure that Caddx will add that kind of stuff as we go forward, but in terms of general filming while flying and doing stuff, the camera is performing very well. Charging it up on the quad can be a little tricky due to its large physical size. That magnetic cable holder on the back just seems to get in the way. A separate little mini charging controller connector like the Peanut has would have been great. There isn't any access to the SD card unless you remove it from the mount, so I'm sure lots of people will be 3D printing different versions, but Caddx, if you're watching this, having some kind of opening at the side of the mount on top of a quad would help us get the SD card in and out without having to start dismantling stuff. While we're talking about the mount design I think could have been slightly better. Having the connector at the rear would have pushed the camera forward, which meant it would be easier to get the battery where you need it for central gravity and the right level of flying. And it does get warm in operation, like a lot of these cameras do. So airflow over it while it's being used, it'll be useful. It doesn't get really hot like some of them do, but it does get nice and warm. The internal battery is only about 600 mAh. They claim it has a 30-minute time with a 4K recording. I'm not getting that here. I am lucky if I can scrape 2 5-minute flights out of it before the battery is kaput. So if you're using this, you definitely need to rig up that external cable to keep it powered. So in summary, Caddx really thinks about the hobby and has worked hard to give us a decent 4K camera that doesn't cost the earth. But there are other 4K options that cost less than this and perform in a similar way. Things like the new Runcam Thumb Pro and the Runcam Orange are about $50 less and give you decent 4K too. With an action camera usually being on the front of any model, they are a super expensive bumper that means that in any crash, it ends up costing you several hundreds of dollars and pounds when it inevitably takes the brunt of the force. But this is a very nice camera if you can deal with the extra weight and the physical size and you like gyro flow. I'm really interested to see what comes out next from Caddx. The various firmware upgrades and the various videos over the last 6 weeks using the different firmwares have made it tricky for people to get a real feel of how it performs. But this appears to be the final version and Caddx have given me the go-ahead to make this video. I'm interested to see what Caddx does next. A smaller 4K camera that doesn't have a battery in it and has the lens on the end for non-quad use on things like wings and planes and other stuff would be excellent. So hopefully that's been interesting for those of you that have been watching some of the other reviews and interested in the camera. Now you've seen it with the final release firmware. Thank you for spending your time today watching that video. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you're trying to learn about a subject, then check out the playlist. All of my videos are organized into easy to follow playlists that if you're trying to learn a topic will take you from the basics right the way through to some pretty advanced stuff.